OzChomp warning. The following gameplay includes content for a mature audience. This may include violence, horror, blood and guts, spooky things, coarse language, even sexy rude stuff, drinky smoky tokey things or items including any or all of these themes. Some viewers may be uncomfortable with this. Please stop the video if you are not happy to hear or view such subject matter. Remember, it's just a game, so let's have fun. Thank you.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
Took Spyreton all by yourself, huh? I prefer the path of least people shooting at me, but that's just me.
That reporter's gotta be nearby. Ain't keen to jump to conclusions, but I think I got a notion of what we're doing here.
I'm Orland Crawford, the outsourced but never outmatched wartime correspondent for the ACS Undisputed Claim. You must be the grafted soldier, here to show us all what you can do.
The name's Inez, and yes, Willard Conan sent me to help you with some sort of... I don't know what, exactly.
Now, let's not skip on introductions. Who is this you have with you? I'll just put you down as a trusted ally, then.
Never seen a grafted trooper in action before, but I'm looking forward to watching you work. Your mission, trooper, is to capture the Protectorate blockade to the north. Their defenses are too great to face head-on, so you'll want to sneak in through the back entrance. We've obtained the entry codes through great effort.
My camera drones will be filming the action from above, so do put on a good show. Blow up a few things, and use Inez's abilities to demonstrate the might of Auntie's choice. Yes?
They've detained several of our scouts. I'd like to see them returned. If you deliver this weapons cache to them and free them, they might offer some aid in the fight.
This is quite the opportunity. Normally, a POW might be written off as shrinkage, an unfortunate, unavoidable loss. But their rescue will be worth far more in publicity.
So what? If I hadn't come along, you all would have left those troopers to rot.
Our motto is to leave no man behind. Unless it breaches our contract and promises financial penalties, which this does. Now, take these codes for the back door and go.
Once you infiltrate the blockade, neutralize our foes, and open the gates, our remaining troops will move in to secure the blockade for ourselves. Any questions? The drilling crew near the chemical plant is working to punch a path through the mountains. You could use such a path, but for some reason, their job is taking longer than expected.
Or you could go through the automech production facility north of here. But that's where the scout who brought us the codes lost his life. So proceed with caution and a loaded gun.
Though I trust you may fare better than that poor sod did, I do look forward to seeing you take the fight to the Protectorate. It's about time Auntie gave him a good walloping. Ooh, and spare some time for me after you emerge victorious, won't you? What am I saying? Of course you will! Who wouldn't want to be interviewed for the wireless? Go on now!
Here we are, about to kick the proverbial mantisaur nest. Hope you're ready for your close-up. mistaken. Of course they got a bunker mech. We need to take it by surprise.
Replenishing my firearm. Hastening to cover.
Life support. Another ass kicking for the history books. Let's open the gate for that reporter and the troops before these bodies get cold.
Psst. Over here! Let us out! Many thanks for freeing us.
Thank you for your customer service,
Think I can
contractor.
maneuver my trauma into a neutral position after this?
Over here! Let's have a word with the hero of the moment for the wireless. Well, the blockade is certainly ours now, but that was hardly more impressive than any other raid in this law-forsaken colony. I'm afraid my drones didn't get what we needed them to.
That hasn't stopped you lot from spinning a story before. You said something about an interview earlier. Well, I'll answer your questions. You'll make me look good in return?
It's audio only, Trooper. And you're working with a true professional now. Let me work, huh? Relax. Be authentically you, though you'd be wise to throw in a tagline or two. Ready?
Well,
Great! Recording's already begun. I'm here, live at the scene with the fearsome grafted soldier Inez. It's a shame you cannot see this, dear listener, for it is impressive indeed. Inez, your destruction of those dastardly Protectorate troops was awe-inspiring. You must feel like the employee of the month, having brought such a decisive victory to Auntie's choice.
I'm just, doing my part. I joined up because I believed in our mission, to liberate Arcadia. Reckon my actions illustrate that more than anything I could ever say. Suppose I do know a thing or two about a pep talk. Given many in my time to troopers suffering injury or boredom.
How wonderful! I hadn't realized Inez here had initiated a recruitment campaign. Truly a lesson to us all. Dear audience, the voice you just heard is that of the soldier's close associate, an eyewitness to the battle and the marvelous carnage littering the land. You also freed some of our troopers from the Protectorate's fiendish grasp. One can only imagine the torture they suffered. Tell us about it. The rescue, in detail if you would.
Look, I did what anyone with an ounce of sense would do. Ain't gonna leave one of my own in such a state. And if I had it my way, I would have acted sooner. Yeah, that's exactly right. I plan on doing everything in my power to bring a swift end to this war, and keep as many civvies out of harm's way as possible.
A heartwarming sentiment, but not too swift an end to the war, I hope. It's good for business, as we all know. In any case, those soldiers can finally return to their postings again. Now, I have a question about your abilities, Inez. What sets a trooper like you apart from the rest?
These graphs make me stronger. Good in a bind. I know I'm a bit of a curiosity. Ain't too many of us left. But there is so much good we can do with grafting, if we try. I got a plan, see? To start the grafting program up again. The research is promising, and with the right backing, it could be a product that can better the lives of everyone.
A fascinating idea. I think we'd all sleep soundly if we knew more of you were running amok on our behalf. Before we wrap, have you anything else of note to tell our undoubtedly enraptured audience?
Oh, I got one. Ain't just a tested and true product that'll put you over the top. A graft like mine might also get you into orbit.
Ah, I see. A bit of cheeky product placement for zero-G whiskey. Very well done, you. And that's a wrap. You can go back to slouching or sneering or whatever else it is you do. Astonishingly well. Rest assured, our listeners will be glued to their radios for all the lurid details and to hear more of my award-deserving reporting, naturally.
Well, that's a damn sight better than I was anticipating. Willard will have to make good on our deal now. Let's head back and speak with him.
You do that, and I will remain here, burdened by the drudgery of war. Farewell.
strive to be 110% home plus artificial.
Andy's Choice Rehydrated.
Conspicuous consumption of unavoidable embedded chemicals. Live, love, laugh, purchase, and consume with Auntie's Choice. As your peerless leader, known for her unparalleled business acumen, I might appear above the occasional frivolity. But no, I do enjoy spectating a rousing sporting match as much as all of you base rank and file. The Big Rift cut off tossball news from home, but our Arcadia-grown league is a worthy substitute.
Certainly a more profitable program than the Protectorate's watered-down rip-off. Pitchfall, they call it. My, how imaginative.
Ah, so the conquering heroes have returned from the blockade. But perhaps heroes is too strong a term, considering the proof of your heroics is sorely lacking. The footage showing the taking of the blockade is near unusable. Oh, where are my manners? Commander, Inez, meet our new benefactor. This is the business partner I spoke to you about, and she has graciously agreed to fund our new venture.
Yes, we've met. Now, let's not get overly ahead of ourselves. Putting on a show is 40% of the battle. The remaining 60% is messaging.
Well, I'd say these two certainly made our correspondence job easier. Only Auntie herself could have done a finer job at providing sound bites.
Let's try not to exaggerate. It was a fine showing. Now, with her as the face of the brand, we might really have something.
Look, I know I ain't exactly the profile of a business partner, but I know medicine, and I know the potential of grafts more than anyone. You'll not find my experience anywhere.
Perhaps so, but unfortunately I can't be expected to simply take your word for it. You know how it is. Low-level workers have a certain flair for lying and grifting, whilst concurrently exaggerating all accomplishments and ills.
But we can trust your word as her current supervisor. What sort of performance review might you give this associate?
Thanks.
That's a reasonable endorsement. Wouldn't fit in the one-line write-in space for her quarterly appraisal, but I suppose you couldn't know.
So we have a deal then? I admit that the raid and the interview may not have gone as swimmingly as I would have liked, but there is something there.
Suppose I can make good on the funding after all. We'll see in time where this arrangement leaves us. In any case, good day.
So that's it. We're clear to restart the grafting program. And you'll abide by my demands. No more senseless killing. No more hurting folk.
Of course not. Unless said folk agree to it. Yes, we are at an agreement. Consider this a bonus for your efforts. When the time is right, I will reach out to you for further planning. You have been instrumental, soldier. Inez, well done indeed.
I'll settle for a moment of rest, Commander. Thanks.
the red. Learn to negotiate.
Xenobiological exploitation's output is down 18%.
I'm not paying professional hunters to run a petting zoo. Acquire and exploit the
Tramicular. Arriving any moment now. Approaching station. Value added Esplanade.
And I promise we will all thrive. Please list a shop for Auntie's Choice products.
You want freedom of choice. You want Auntie's Choice. Auntie's Choice knows that a better you is just 3 pills and an ointment away. Why choose just any choice when you could choose Auntie's Choice? Too much Spacer's Ale? Try Auntie's Choice.
Taste the sandwich. You want to eat.
Choice. You want Auntie's Choice. Auntie's Choice knows that a better you is just 3 pills and an ointment away.
Have time for a chat, Commander? Willard, Vice President Conan, sent me a message just now about how the investment meeting went. Seems he showed off the footage from the blockade, interview and all, and they all agreed to fund the grafting program and start it up again in earnest. I think we actually pulled this off, Commander. They even thought to bring me into middle management for the program. Can you believe it? Hope so. Might have an uphill battle against the VPs who'll try to amend the deal, but I ain't one to give up ground without a fight. I'm realizing now that I never really imagined something like this was possible. After ending my contract like that, never thought I'd be at the forefront of a military campaign. Never thought I'd be able to change much about Auntie's Choice, let alone that I'd want to. But here I am. Reckon you could say I proved myself after all. Thank you, Commander, for everything. Anyhow, that's enough sorting my thoughts for the moment. We got a galaxy to save. Considering your choice of target. Have you considered
Hostiles.
The console. Only the Protectorate possesses the advanced technology and know-how behind the mental refreshment process. That's why we are all happy and contented, and others are not.
liquidate him?
Breaking for cover! While there are many mental refreshment facilities to be found throughout Arcadia, placid waters well here on Prater.
Hey now, neighbor.
Making the mental refreshment process more... Enemy near. Statistical chance of violence increasing.
Stymies untoward inclination and refashions them into the thing of symmetry.
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment. Come right in, and be refreshed.
Are you ready to realign with the paradigm? To shed all manner of imperfect thoughts?
All it takes is some light instruction, a restorative cocktail,
And a quick dip into the lathe of particularity to abrade your imperfections.
I'm Head Refresher Gould, and I guarantee when you exit our doors, you'll be a
Productive member of our perfect society again. Soon you'll say,
goodbye, imperfect thoughts. Hello, contentment.
I don't know what in the void we just got hosed down with, but it's, kinda nice.
Preserve set progress.
Greetings, subject. Or should I say refreshed to be. Welcome to the Wellnetarium. You're not on my schedule. A walk-in then. Wonderful. Once you're properly evaluated, we'll have you well on your way to refreshment.
I think a few bulbs burned out and this one's upstairs. Play along. We should be able to get past.
Oh, you appear to have questions. A telltale sign of needing refreshment. Why, of course. Naturally. It is the duty of every subject to submit for a quick mental tune-up whenever we experience imperfect thoughts or lack a little zeal.
Well, there are many mental refreshment facilities to be found throughout our campus.
Simply step over to my automechanical colleague to my left, / your right, and it will begin your assessment.
Greetings, subject unscheduled. Welcome to Placid Waters Wellnetarium. Evaluation commencing. Subjects are required to respond 100% accurately to all queries. Bespoke prescribed regimens may produce untoward ramifications if baseline data is greater than minutely erroneous. Query 1. Concisely characterize your personal perspective. Incorrect. The accepted answer is, I fulfill my duty to the Sovereign as a loyal protectorate subject by operating at peak efficacy, without error, perpetually, each a vital cog. Query 2. Rate your present level of zealous efficaciousness on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the highest, 3 being a traitor, 1 being dead.
Collective cognitive compliance is a key part of your prescribed cure.
Incorrect. The degree of zealous efficaciousness expected of a dutiful and true subject of the Protectorate is beyond measure. Query 3. Do you ever fall prey to imperfect thoughts, including, but not limited to, doubt, disbelief, uncertainty, curiosity, recalcitrance, and mischief? Unacceptable. A perfect society demands perfect thoughts. Imperfection is impossible when the mind is a thing of symmetry. Final query. How would your neighbors describe you?
In all its many forms.
Unsatisfactory response. The appropriate reply was, they never questioned, never doubted. Their zeal never lagged. Formulating conclusion. Phrenometric matrix delineated. Subject evaluation score total 200 out of 200. The acceptable amount for a true and dutiful protectorate subject is 0. In conclusion, you are in dire need of mental refreshment. Now, proceed to the nearby pneumatic tube to collect your complimentary unitard and lift pass. Next, proceed one floor down, where you will be directed further. Our realignment with the paradigm begins now.
Employ together, we thrive together.
Protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
The mental refreshment process.
Pondering begets disharmony.
Stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward inclination, and refreshes the mind.
Reminds you that mental refreshment is not an Earth Directorate approved medical procedure.
I'm realigned with the paradigm. Greetings, new person. You have a look of query about you. I have answers to questions and no questions to answer. Hello. My name is Abigail, and I am realigned with the paradigm. Head Refresher Gould says his recorded lectures are key to thinking approved thoughts. He tells us what to think and what thoughts are unsanctioned. It's also very helpful. That, a restorative cocktail of pharmaceuticals, and a quick dip into the lathe of particularity device can abrade all imperfections. Only internally, I'm afraid. You should speak to Refreshment Facilitator Tilden in the lecture hall. Why, it's right outside Head Refresher Gould's office. He'll schedule you an appointment. Just follow the signs to the lecture hall. Pondering begets disharmony. To deliberate is to court ruin. Notions are a gateway to mayhem, bedlam, turmoil, and vexation. Thinking never made anybody happy. I once possessed a failing of character where I would voice simple statements in a way that sounded like a question? Drat! There, did it again. Anyhow, I was reported for it? It is the duty of all Protectorate subjects to regularly converse with our neighbors, so we may determine if their zeal has wavered. I am newly full of zeal, free of imperfect thoughts. My mind is a thing of symmetry. My phrenometric peaks are all abraded. I only experience approved emotions. Doubt and worry are notably unsanctioned. A perfect society demands perfect thoughts, after all. Refreshment is inevitable. You can't fight contentment.
Medicament dispensement has concluded for today. Please proceed to the lecture hall to request an exception.
Their team plays the worst. Oh, you're new. Must be. You still retain that look of inquiry and deliberation. I'm Waylon. No, I'm newly full of zeal. That is, I hope the process took this time. They say my phrenometric peaks are resistant to abradement, but still, they try. A facilitator said that I'd been here thrice, but I only remember once or twice. The original version's about being a good Protectorate subject and turning in your neighbor if they lack zeal or think thoughts and such. In my case, my daughter reported me. Of course, we're all supposed to watch each other close to keep the paradigm on track and abiding. First thing you do when you're back is thank the person who did it. I couldn't leave. Not yet. Haven't completed my regimen. My phrenometric peaks are still jutting all over the place, they say. Are you in disguise? I don't recognize so-and-so as a title. This feels a bit curious to me. but I feel compelled not to question it too much. Maybe the treatment is working. I'd go with you, I guess. But I need something first. They took all my things when I arrived. Stored them in storage. My commemorative pitch balls in there. From my favorite team, the Paradigm Abiders. I had to turn in my personal items when I was admitted. On account I tried to leave once or twice before. Saw them put it in a closet behind reception upstairs. Suppose so. Maybe almost, at least. One way out's the safest. Someone dug a tunnel in the kitchen pantry. Though there are 2 automechs assigned there now, to keep subjects from wandering in and ambling off. That doesn't seem like the sort of thing that'd be allowed, but guess you know what you're doing. I'll be dithering about here in the meanwhile. Oh, hello!
Right as rain. Right as rain.
The kitchen pantry is presently off limits due to anomalous structural tampering. The kitchen pantry is presently off limits due to anomalous structural tampering.
Goodbye, imperfect thoughts. Hello, contentment.
Settle down, everyone. Lecture's playing. Prepare to be edified.
For today's topic, we'll touch on why our program is so very important. Ignorant, misguided outsiders may wonder, why does the Protectorate need mental refreshment? Doesn't it inhibit personal freedom? Yet this freedom they celebrate is a yawning chaos, and their choice is an invitation to failure, loss, and anarchy. It is a sad fact that all human beings require direction. As my good friend the Consul would say, at its base, humanity unguided is cravenly, inept, and slothful. We of the Protectorate are not, because we do not allow ourselves to be. The paradigm charts our course, gives us purpose. The Consul is the firm hand that guides us. Mental refreshment keeps us on task, free from doubt, efficient, perfect. And thus we enjoy amity, luxury, and resplendence. The system provides, the system abides.
Multiple inaccuracies, lies, and outright fabrications were contained within this lecture. It would be best categorized as propaganda.
Aw, a new face. Well, I'd welcome you to the Wellnetarium, but the designated subject reader ought to have attended to that by now. Admitting you question is the first step in your recovery. But worry not. Soon enough, with our help and a little work, you'll never question again. You've missed the daily medicament dispensement, if that's what you mean. But you should take that up with the medicament dispensement automech directly. The medicament dispensement automech automechanically dispenses medicaments. 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 You must mean the lathe of particularity. One assumes you haven't had a session with Head Refresher Gould yet. You'll soon learn all about it, firsthand. I see you found the lecture as edifying as all the others here. Good, good. Collective cognitive compliance is a key part of the prescribed curative regimen. Head Refresher Gould provides us with daily lectures in audio cartridge form to steer group thinking. As they say, to think together is to together thrive. Upstairs in the audiovisual aids office, of course, though that area is off limits to all subjects not a part of facility staff or security. How very interesting. Here, take my pass then. It grants access to all mid-privilege priority areas. You'll feel ever so much better once your phrenometric peaks have been abraded.
Like stealing compost from a breadworm. Almost feel a little bad about her. She sure ain't asking many questions. Though I figure that's the aim of this refreshment nonsense. Bastards.
All in this together.
Protector is subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
The mental refreshment process increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward inclinations, and refashions the mind into a thing of symmetry.
Subjects prosper under the guidance of a...
Apologies, but an automechanical's work is never concluded. Unscheduled walk-in. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, how mentally refreshed are you feeling today? Noting gloomful self-diagnosis and responding with couched optimism. Well then, that still leaves plenty of room for improvement. Medicament dispensement has concluded for the day. Response. Medicaments are stored in medicament storage, the office in which this unit presently operates. Yet, it is strictly off-limits to all non-refreshment facilitator personnel. Farewell statement. May refreshment soon render you free from doubt. A vital cog once more.
Trust the plan, preserve set progress, sustain the system, serve the sovereign.
trouble ahead.
Never more content, never more content.
Hey there. Help you with something? With me what?
Combat range.
Health benefits available at your request.
You've gained privileged access somehow. Our superiors must have arranged it.
Hey, what's that sound? Why does the wall look so soft all of them?
Oh, do I detect a whiff of reprioritin gas? You know, I suddenly feel a mite more pliable somehow. Surely nothing to question. I thought no one was due for peak abradement for hours. I should have your chart. Wait. Ha! You're not a protectorate subject at all. You have the telltale look of wonder and introspection.
Frequent exposure to reprioritin gas may result in increases in tolerance and gullibility.
Well, this is normally where you'd say something. Listen to this one. You're a hoot. Oh dear, I seem to be a little unstable at the moment. But never fear, I have intellect to spare. Don't believe me? I can prove it. Even in a state such as this, I am more than able to apply my argumentative skills against the inferior minds and bankrupt philosophies of our rivals. To what end are you here? Tell me truly. Speak plainly. You know, I'm beginning to have an inkling about your purpose here, and whose employ you're under. A proposal. Adequately debate me on the merits and failings of each group's ideology, and I'll provide you what you're here for. Yes, well, you'll see, even in a nominally reduced state, I am more than up to the task. So, what of the Order, our former allies, those cursed overthinkers, doomed to lives free of luxury, toiling away in ceaseless cogitation? What say you of them? What I may find personally satisfying is irrelevant. I think first of my community. Thought is an affliction to the base cog. Rampant, unrestrained rumination leads nowhere pretty. Though your point, while gratingly expressed, is noted, albeit grudgingly. What say you about Auntie's choice, then? Tell me, is there any value in the vapid emptiness of those corporate consumerists? That actually sounds to have some slight merit when you put it that way. I mean, such a system would leave behind the general public, though. All our friends and neighbors. Your point is not completely without worth, I suppose. Only mostly. In the Protectorate, we have the best of everything. Food, technology, a sense of belonging, freedom from doubt, worry, hard work. No, the others simply cannot compare. People are unproductively prone to unhappiness. We remove this self-sabotaging flaw so they can fully appreciate the ample bounty we provide, free of doubt and worry. Oh, are we to debate the nature of self now? Of identity? Let's stay on topic. I admit I've never submitted myself to the lathe of particularity, but I'm sure it would be like a light, pleasant misting of the mind. I am certain I would return unchanged. Well, you've raised some interesting points, I suppose. Any other clever assertions you'd like to put forward before I fully evaluate your performance here? You don't think I'd send thousands through the process if I wasn't absolutely confident of it being unharmful? The results speak for themselves. Literally. Our subjects have never been more content. They say so repeatedly. Huh. Taken as a whole, that was the most engaging conversation I've had in... well, couldn't even say. Yes, it's true. I am thoroughly disturbed by how much you made me question many long-held beliefs. But frankly, that was quite invigorating. Now, what next? Why, I'd say you're right. That would prove without the shadow of a doubt its safeness and efficacy, wouldn't it? Tell you what, I'll get in and you work the controls over there. I'm realigned with the paradigm.
This subject's mental fortitude has diminished significantly. Warning. Approaching vegetative state.
And now he's trapped in the mental cage of his own making. Might be satisfying if this weren't so, well, so damn bleak.
Perfect society demands perfect thoughts.
Wait. I was led to believe my case required minimal treatment. But that last session, that was far more intensive.
Strong observation, Your Sublime Radiance. We set the lathe to the maximal abradement setting, per instructions.
Maximal? Who authorized you to use that setting? I demand the name of my betrayer!
Subject is exhibiting increased agitation upon exiting the lathe, consistent with extreme cases. Further abradement recommended.
Who are you speaking to? Are you recording this? Enough of this farce! Release me at once!
Goodbye, imperfect thoughts. Hello, contentment.
Mental refreshment post-haste. It's not just a good idea, it's the law.
It is the duty efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important. Remember, collective cognitive compliance is a key part of a perfect society. When we comply
Never more content. Never more content.
enemies detected.
Invasive elements! Don't hurt him, please. The Sovereign isn't at his best right now. You're not here to harm him, are you? If so, I must warn you, I will defend the Sovereign to the fullest extent of my meager abilities. Yes, it is. Our beneficent, infallible ruler, the Sovereign Henry Aloysius Varick, son of the first Sovereign, Reuben Varick. You'll have to forgive him right now. As I said, he is not his best today. We've been here since it was determined that the Sovereign, long distraught over the loss of his family, was in need of mental refreshment. Since then, he has been receiving dedicated treatment from head refresher Gould himself. Well, after his first session, the Sovereign was notably upset, launched into hysteric fits of paranoid ranting. Absurd nonsense about how the consul had betrayed him and seized power. For his own good, he had to be gently but firmly restrained. That all stopped after his next dip into the lathe, thank law. He's remained quite peaceful since. I'm certain he'll be back to his old self in no time. Preposterous! The consul and all the vigilant are above reproach. No subject of the Protectorate would ever harm, or knowingly allow harm to befall our beneficent ruler, the Sovereign, or consider such a thing. To even think such a thought is unthinkable. This stately form before you is the direct descendant of the matriarch herself. All we have, all any of us have, stems directly from the works of his family line. I will stay true to him and the Protectorate to the end. The Sovereign is receiving the finest possible care as he has every day of his life. Treatment outside the Protectorate is barbaric by comparison. Our system is perfect. Just leave us be. Go. Please, just leave us. Just leave.
Looking a little woozy there, Commander.
unscheduled walk-in.
The lathe of particularity explains the terrible need for answers.
Medicament dispensement has concluded for today. Please proceed to the lecture hall to request an...
Hello! You find my pitch ball? Oh, commemorative pitch ball! I missed you so. Let's never part again. Suppose I'm ready to leave. Well, almost. Okay. Ready to go then, I suppose. If we get separated, I'll meet you there.
Medicament dispensement has concluded for today. Please proceed to the lecture hall to request an exception.
Non-friendly life form detected.
How is this even possible? This has to be representative of some type of instrument miscalibration.
I wish that were the case, but I've ascertained that the calibration is within acceptable Peter, thrice already. If these readings are accurate, then I'm equally aghast that we haven't observed more deceased wildlife washing up on the shores.
Anywhere else in the Arcadian system, you'd have a valid point. But here on Praetor, the flora and fauna bust.
Hopefully they can outlast Auntie's occupation.
Refreshment facilities to be found throughout Arcadia. Placid Waters Wellnatarium, here on Praetor, special?
It is personally overseen by Head Refresher Gould, the top cognitive deviser responsible for making the mental refreshment process more refreshing than ever.
Agents, prepare for combat.
Of every protector its subject to ensure they are operating at peak
The mental refreshment process increases tractability and stifles undue agitation. Stopping these untoward combinations and refreshes the heart into a thing.
Remember, collective cognitive compliance is a key part of our perfect society. When we comply together, we thrive together.
I'm refreshed, so refreshed that I la la la. Ah. A perfect society demands perfect thoughts.
Our enemies envy our prosperity. They gain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
It is the duty of every protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
The mental...
Please remember, commercialism is the foundation of anti-trade society.
Try
Not because we worship these, but because of the system's glorious
and inconsolable.
protectorate decides respond to what you want through your as consumers.
The story of Anti-Cleo versus the Moon Man is a ballad for our ages. A thing of legend, to be handed down for a modest fee to each successive generation. Spacer's choice swollen-headed mascot represents the worst impulses of old corporations, who unfairly stacked the deck against the little person, as they tried with us at Tau Ceti. But did Anti-Cleo take Spacer's choice devious shenanigans lying down? No! Just like our sponsored tossball team, the Anti-Cleo's darlings refused to do when things were down at the end of the sponsorship series against the Spacers Chosen.
I'm Jean Turfer-Tyler, 6th base person for the Anti-Cleo's darlings. I believed Spacer's Chosen's goalie at the end of the 56th inning, then made a Sunday goal to win the game. Whenever I see that Moon Man's grinning face.
Your performance at that facility went exceedingly well, all things considered, and it was an ideal first step in effecting my monopolistic mercantile methodology plan.
There you go again, pinning your career to that flim-flam mathematical malarkey. What do a bunch of eggheads know about marketing? Marketing isn't some rigmarole you can plug into a computronic doodad. It's instinct, intuition, know-how. It's a fucking art.
Yes, suppose we should move on. Ursula, will you do the honors?
I'm the head of our proprietary insight acquisition division. Stealing our rivals' trade secrets? That's our bread and butter. We can sometimes lack a certain subtlety, though. The Protectorate have a process called mental refreshment. Some kind of mind manipulation business. There's a facility for it on Praetor. And he wants details on their methodology, pharmacology, and technology. This archive plan says it's important. Fine. Auntie and I agree it presents possibilities. Oh, do tell. I hope you gathered supplemental materials and recruited the scientist as well. You ran this head refresher through his own process, didn't you? You have a moral streak, then. How odd.
Well, that is tragic. But not everything is within your control. Still a fine job all around.
Now, I assume you won't mind we have a few questions about the process. Our people will extract details about the pharmacology and methodology. That will all no doubt prove useful, but we're most interested in the technology and its results. Can't say I like the sound of that. Seems like they'd be difficult to market to.
How truly unfortunate. Those without desire or drive make terrible customers. They can barely even be considered consumers at all.
What else can you tell us about the place? Turn up any additional details? Anything especially marketable? Oh, good to know, good to know. That's certainly interesting. Intriguing, even. What else? But still, they keep on marketing it as virtually foolproof, don't they? So much for their vaunted moral high ground, and so much for us exploiting that piece of technology. Excellent. Well, here's your reward, along with something extra for your effort. Too bad about the lead scientist. Converting him would have earned you an above-average payout. All right. For your next assignment, well, it's something of an organizational priority.
Congratulations! Your storied success has earned you a whole entire minute with our illustrious leader, Auntie Cleo!
So your preliminary chores are complete. Oh, finally a contractor with a little backbone. Normally they flee or expire, leaving the work woefully incomplete. Ah, I remember you from before. Fairfield, yes? Tell me, as an outside agent, do you have any quandaries working with our organization? It's true, the old corporations cared little for the individual, whereas I'd like to see each and every one of our employees rise from the refuse heap, like I did. Do hope you'll forgive these two. They're competing for a rather significant promotion, you see. It tends to make employees fractious, like young ursopods cooped up in the den. Well now, time's wasting. Do you know the archive on Cloister, the moon-sized computronic contraption?
As you will no doubt recall, it was responsible for creating the monopolistic mercantile methodology plan, our current operations manifesto.
That old hat again.
Whether or not I yet have full confidence in the strategies it devised is presently irrelevant. Regardless, I want it back under our control as soon as possible.
Protectorate forces occupy the area. All of them, it seems.
Yet, a skilled operator like you could lead the charge, slip in where a larger, less cost-effective force might falter. Little sabotage, some well-timed calling of reinforcements once you retake Spiraton. Voila! The Protectorate are gone, at a fraction of the projected price otherwise. And if you have some calculations you want to run on it first, fine. Our goals align. Just give us the archive when you're done. Sure, it'd put you on the Order's bad side, permanently, hostily, but I'm certain you're prepared to accept that. Who cares if a bunch of bookish academics are mad at you, right? Splendid. Pull this off, you'll be handsomely rewarded.
This is exactly the kind of surgical operation I recruited you for, and all eyes are upon you now, so aim to impress.
I can meet you there once you've breached its defenses. Call on me, if and when you need.
Splendid. You have a reasonable amount of my confidence. More than most. foundation that Auntie's Choice Society is based upon. Not because we worship bits, but because of the system's glorious efficacy, while the Protectorate decides what its subjects do.
Tramicular. Arriving any moment now. Approaching station. Value-added Esplanade.
When it can be enhancing people's lives.
You want freedom of choice. You want Auntie's Choice. Auntie's Choice knows that a better you is just 3 pills and an ointment away. Why choose just any choice when you could choose Auntie's Choice? You want freedom of choice. You want Auntie's Choice. Auntie's Choice knows that a better is just...
OzChomp